Huston, could you describe for us your meeting with Thomas Merton?
Happily, gladly. There was to be an interfaith conference in Calcutta, and I received a mailing and an invitation, and I said, I'm sorry, it's a long way, and I'm going to pass on this one. But I was on their list, so I got a second, and I noticed on this second sheet, it had a list of people who had accepted, and one of the names was Thomas Merton. Well, he had worked his way up to be the man who I had not yet met that I most wanted to meet. So I immediately sent a telegram saying, I'm coming. Well, it was, the conference was to begin with a social hour at 5 o'clock on the lawn behind the hotel. And I was punctual, and at 5 o'clock I went down, and there he was, sitting alone at a table, sipping a soft drink. And I went over and introduced myself, and I said, I thought, this man's going to be in the most demand of anybody here. I better use him while I have him alone. So I said, Father Merton, may I ask you a question? Certainly. I said, I could never be a monk. The man-woman thing is too strong in me. But I do have a contemplative strain in me. Could you tell me what is it like to be a monk? And he said, well, it's very nice. And I said, very nice? What about those 3 vows? And he said, oh, those. Poverty is a snap. Chastity is a little more difficult, but it's manageable. But obedience is a booger. And we know he had trouble with his superior on that. Well, so that was that exchange, and then at the end of the week, the closing session, he was the speaker. And this one was televised, so they required that he be present in his clerical garb. And so he began by saying, well, I feel like I'm speaking to you in costume. I never wear this. I usually have dungarees and a work shirt on, but this is what was required. And then he went on, spoke for 12 minutes, and just exquisitely. And he said, I am here to represent the people who don't count. First, the poor, the second, the poets, and the third, I'm a little shaky on this. I think he said the clerics on that. But then he went on, and the peroration at the end was so beautiful. As long as there are people, and I can't match his eloquence here, but people who will do their best and swim against the tide selflessly and with dedication. As long as there are such people, there is hope for the world. So then that concluded the conference. We had agreed to sit on the side by side on the plane from Calcutta to Delhi. And so the responsibility was all off, and we were sort of giddy, and I had heard that there was a wonderful, traditionally best meditation journey on foot from Kathmandu to Pokhara. By plane, it took 5 minutes. On foot, it took 17 days because it was mostly up and down, up and down. And I had been intrigued by that, and I said, oh, I wish I could do that pilgrimage from Kathmandu to Pokhara. And he said, let's do it. And he said, I'll wire my superior, defrock me if you must, but I am pilgrimaging from Kathmandu to Pokhara. And I said, I would do the same with Kendra, divorce me if you must, but I'm doing the pilgrimage from Kathmandu. And we were just goofing off. But then the plane landed, and we said goodbye, and I headed north to the Tibetans, and he headed south to his death by being electrocuted with a live wire, stepping on a live wire while he was taking a shower.
Our old friend Joseph Campbell tells me that he was at that conference that you described. You attended with Thomas Merton. And his observation was that over the course of the conference, the priests between each of the various religions were in constant disputation, constantly arguing, but that the monks were extremely conciliatory and very respectful of each other's traditions. Have you come across that in the past?
I can believe it, but you've told me something I had forgotten. I didn't realize that Joe Campbell was at that conference.
Yeah.